Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Baba Yooba, and I'm very excited to be having you on this particular broadcast today, specially made to address a reality of the day. A lot of people have been writing to me asking, is there a way in African spirituality to not really overcome, but to cope in this era of pandemic? I must have addressed it once or twice before today. But then there is nothing bad in us going through things over and over again, using the knowledge of the ancestors and also the wisdom of Ifa to approach the current reality. And somebody will be saying, is there any medical breakthrough or medical verses in Ifa as a system of divination? I wouldn't say there is none, because Ifa itself is an embodiment of everything. And we often also mention to us all that we must be very careful on creating religion around this African spirituality. So, if the first set of people who came across us and when we're trying to negotiate ourselves out, um, actually heard us say, let's call it African spirituality, it would have been called maybe AS today instead of IFA, because I would not stop reiterating that IFA itself is an abbreviation or acronym, let me say abbreviation of indigenous faith of African people. But we'll be taking it easy today, and we hope that in the course of this particular broadcast, there won't be any need for provocation of us to raise our voice against each other. Now, we want to talk about the current pandemic that is killing both old and young, both the believers and the unbelievers like us, both the faithful and the unfaithful, both the ostracized and the included, both the rich and also the poor. For once in our lifetime, we realize that the universe have no partiality and doesn't respect one person above the other. For once in our lifetime, we realize also that the universe itself is no respecter of anybody. And let us start this way. Kàṣèbá lára, kàṣèbá jèrò, kàṣèbá ọ̀rọ̀gún ilé ìlà, kíbà tí wàá ṣe lónìí. Àwọn tí ó jáwé ká tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní jáwé, àwọn tí wọ́n wẹ̀ légbò ká tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní wẹ̀ légbò. Àwọn tí wọ́n kọ́ sọ̀rọ̀ tí wọ́n ò sọ bótò. Lónìí, àṣebà tiwọn. Ọ̀rọ̀ la fẹ́ sọ, ká má fẹnu lẹ̀, ká má fẹsẹ̀ lẹ̀, ká má fẹnu kọ. Àṣẹ. Àṣebà àwọn ìyá ọ̀pákẹ́ àlàkẹ́, àwọn arúgbó aṣọ má balẹ̀, àwọn sàlà sólò sólò sálà, àtòríjapá àti fúnjẹ̀dọ̀. Atọkànjòrò òǹró, àwọn apanimáwàgún olókìkí o. Àṣebà ọba lúayé, àṣebà ṣọ̀pọ̀nná. The energy is to cure plague and diseases. Àṣebà Ọ̀ṣun ṣẹ̀ǹgẹ̀ṣẹ́ olóyè ayàn. The energy of fertility. Àṣebà Èṣù láàróyè. Ọ̀bẹ̀lẹ́kún sunkún, kẹ́rù ọ̀bẹ̀lẹ́kún, ẹlẹ́kún sunkún, láàróyè ń ṣẹ̀jẹ̀. The great advocate, the mediator, the one who plead the case of men, and the energy of equity. Ìbà àwọn tí wọ́n ti lọ, ìbà àwọn tí ń bẹ, ìbà àwọn tí wọ́n padà wá. We also give credit and kudos, pouring veneration to those who are watching us right now as we start today's teaching. And today, we will talk about ending pandemic in Ifa way. Now, it is going to be very, very, very silly also to pretend as if we don't know a way to overcome this global tragedy. Now, there are those who are of the opinion that the current pandemic COVID-19, the family of SARS, is an artificial creation of man, that it's a bioweapon against mankind. And there are those who point accusing finger against the Asian people, the Chinese people, the generations of the Qing dynasty. There are also those who keep saying it is a political weapon against some race or set of people. I wouldn't say you are right, and I wouldn't say you are also wrong. But it is always very good for us to take popular opinion and analyze them with common sense first, then we also approach it with the spiritual eye as those who are enlightened and awoken. Now, there was a man called Bill Gates, or there is a man called Bill Gates, he's still alive. And so many are of the opinion that Bill Gates was the one who manufactured COVID-19 by the help of some scientists. That Bill Gates has a singular motive or intention to wipe away Africans. Let us come to the table and say that most popular continent could be said to be Africa. And the most consuming continent is also Africa. Whatever it is uh, that is being consumed today in the world, either in form of information technology, food, clothing, because most African nations are not service providers. We must come to that end. And those narratives we must change. We must change. Most African nations are not service providers. They are not IT savvy also. I'm talking about Africans living in Africa. Most times when Africans leave Africa, they become everything they could be. Why? Because the invaders have systematically programmed it to be so, that your resources can only be useful outside of the place where it was taken from. Let's say your resources is only useful or valuable outside the source, either human resources or natural resources, mineral resources, and all that. While African or Archebulan is the bedrock or the land flowing with milk, the real milk and honey. The largest deposit of gold, the largest deposit of copper, the largest deposit of everything is in Africa. Now, African has been singled out to be the pot for which the food for the rest of human race or humankind are being cooked. Now, the fate, FATE, of a pot is not always a good thing. A pot will smell, a pot will house, a pot will cook, a pot will contain all the ingredients and face the fire only to cook it and serve it to others without it taking part of it. The invaders made sure that Africa is inhabitable for Africans, such that we only now think of living outside Africa as our saving grace, as a way to continue our race to survive. Now, an average African now will accept religion and pray to the sky god because he needed a visa to get out of his own motherland. Um, Little wonder why they call Africa the motherland. It is called motherland to further reiterate or to further establish what I've been teaching so far, that it is a matriarch society we were living here. The patriarch society we live now has been one of the greatest weapons against the continuity of humankind created by the invaders. It was our women taking charge before, but that's a story for another day again. Now, Africa has been made so inhabitable for Africans such that they all want to live outside Africa. Now, for a leader to be established in African continent, he or she had to make a pledge to the world power, so to say, these people. And it is on the basis of what can I get from your country? What can I amass to myself in your country? If the leader is not accepting, and it is impossible for the leaders to be killed right away, uh, unrest is systematically introduced among the citizens, and this brings about chaos and dissertation of most African nations. It may look to you like I'm digressing or I'm not going straight to the point, but I'm getting to a certain part to say or to further establish that Africa has become a port, a food port for other nations. And unfortunately, the largest houseware or warehouse for most of the mineral resources located in Africa are not located in Africa. And this is to say that if there's any market target or target audience for most of the product that is being created by the invaders, it is Africa, either good or bad product. It is going to be foolish of me to see my market target and introduce a plague amongst them just to kill them. So I don't know what you think is going on in the head of Bill Gates and these people for wanting to kill all Africans by the use of that pandemic, because we consume Bill Gates' product, and except dead bodies now by computer or IT solutions. That's when we can validate that these people want to kill. Now, when it comes to balancing the world's equation and all that, it is well established that Africans have a more protected and more stronger gene than most of other races, and it is possible to kill us. Now, you also see the effectiveness of this pandemic in all other continents, all other countries, let's say continent, and the effect of it in Africa. If it is to be transported down in mass, it is also being killed in mass here. Now, uh, we have Ebola. We've been through several other things. Mind you, things has been happening from the time of the Diabellite. Humankind didn't come into this world to create cholera. Humankind did not come into this world to create polio. Humankind did not come into this world to create Lassa fever. There are so many things that humankind do not have a clue of, because most of the things that are causal organisms of all of these things are way more intelligent than mankind themselves. Most of the things that you call scientific breakthrough is only a pure study of how the universe works and how we can best cope with it. A study, just plain study of how the universe is working, how the universe is reacting to us according to our own disposition to the universe itself. A study of how to also scale through it. Now, the most developed thing under the sun are the microorganisms. There is a scientific journal that was established to say that even we are products, are descendants of common bacteria, germs, and all. And that's why it is very hard for us to get rid of all those infections, all of this at the same time. And that is why they seems to flourish better in our body than every other element of the universe. You must bring your sense to the table whenever you open your mouth to talk, so that you don't so talk wow and nonsense begin to come out of it. The fact that you ascribe to African spirituality does not mean you should suspend your brain. Make researches, look at things from left and right. Now, I'm very sure that the world will be in a shock. I can go through series of pandemics that has happened in our world. There was a time of Black Death. There was a time of several things. Plague, pandemic has been in existence from the time immemorial. And It didn't only happen abroad, it has also happened in Africa here. And the fact that we learned how to maneuver our way around these things is established in our existence. Our existence. Our existence. If we had disappeared into the thin air, that would have established that our ancestors are ignorant of how to manipulate things. What I'm saying today, you might not agree with it because you have your mind set up in a certain manner and you have it programmed to behave in a certain way, and nothing can convince you otherwise. But it's going to be very lovely if you listen to me and not confuse yourself or even try to drag things. Now, from memorial, when microorganisms react in such a way that we do not expect them to react, or some microorganisms beef up their challenges or try to defend themselves the way we thought they shouldn't, there's always been ways around it. The fact that a microorganism in your body is killing you as human does not mean that that microorganism is not present in an animal and the animals can still survive it. Let's come to reality of our fault, then we begin to apportion blame. Some microorganisms are surviving on a leaf, on plant, on root, and the roots are still flourishing. But the moment they transfer themselves to our body, because we have a limited level of immune system, we think we are the most spectacular thing on earth, whereas we are not. I was talking to someone earlier. I said, if all the worms in this planet disappear, under 8 months, all life will cease to live. Everything will shut down. All worms, ordinary worms. I also created a bit. I said, if all bees, all flies, all insects in our world today cease to exist in the next, let's say, 2 years or so, everyone will die. The world will be deserted. See, leave the coming of Jesus alone. That's a long story. He cometh not. And if he's going to come, they say he will come like a thief in the night. I don't know why you're expecting a thief. You are expecting a thief to come. If he's bold enough, he should come when we can see him. Now, if the bees or the insect disappear in the next, I'm saying I'm going too far. Let's say in the next, let's say 20 months, life will cease to exist. Hmm? If we cut down all the trees in the world today, and there's no way to plant it back, let's give ourselves 5 months or so, we will all disappear. But you know, if we kill all the human beings in the world today, this planet will flourish. I know we produce manure, but the planet will flourish more than us. Have you noticed sometimes, even on your roof of your house, plants will be growing? Are you putting manure on the roof of your house? But it is the human being that is not needed for the world to go round, that think they are too high, that they are created in the image of one human being in the sky. They think that they are too special, that without them, the world will cease to exist. This human being. Without them, the world will flourish. If you are not a human being and all human being dies, and you as an energy could view the world, then you will truly know what paradise means. You guys are destructive. I'm not using destructive because destruction is a good thing. Destruction is a bad thing. You guys are destructive. Lójú àmọ̀kòkò yín bí kí gbogbo ilẹ̀ ó di àmọ̀ ni. A real estate agent wants to consume all the trees and build houses. Where will oxygen come from? A farmer want to cut down all the teak and all the timbers and plant his own corn, his own cocoa. Where will oxygen come from? If you understand water alone, you want to turn the whole planet to water. What ground are we going to stir? You human beings. If you know how to manufacture plastic alone, you want to turn everyone to rubber. Other things, how will they exist? Human being, too low in intelligence, too cheap in IQ. This your destruction attitude is already causing the Alaska, the glaciers to melt. The repercussion of it will come on us and we will all die. Don't worry, we are killing ourselves slowly. Don't worry, don't preserve all the nature's work that are around you. Kill all of them. You are dying because the God you are looking for is the nature you are killing. The very God you are trying to look for is the very nature you are destroying. Let nature work against you one day. You will smell yourself. You will suddenly forget that you are going to achieve anything tomorrow. Let nature deal with you in a day, which is dealing with us right now. You will forget your life. Every dream will vanish from you. The glaciers are melting because we won't keep putting pollution in the air. The carbon we are emitting, we are creating industries, we are saying we are creating civilization. This is chaos. This is chaos. Too much carbon. The children who were born in my days needed to shout a lot to call the children who are born in these days. Too much noise. In those days, our parents will call us once. If they call you twice, they will say, "Are you counting my voice?" You have to be disciplined because you have to be attentive. You hear everything. You can stay here and hear what somebody is saying some feet away from you. In this world, we say this is civilization and improvement. We pick up phone, we get consumed by the phone. The world is collapsing around us and we cannot even hear. We take ourselves for dinner, for date, and we are on the dinner table and date table, and we are chatting with other people who are not on the same dinner table with us. It makes me feel like old school is the real school. We have noises going everywhere. This car is honking, that one is burning carbon, the generator is making noise, the factory is doing this, the noise, the club and all that, destroying your hearing ability. So it will take you an extra effort to call your children to order these things because you brought them into a chaotic world. Now you would not reduce your level of bringing in destruction into the world. Then you go into the wild in the process or in the bid to impress yourself, to consume animals that should not be consumed, to consume the natural host of most of the viruses, most of the bacteria that you are now dealing with today. And if all these microorganisms naturally have been rendered homeless by their natural host, who or where do you think they will stay? They will stay in our body. Unfortunately for us, we are not wired or configured with such immune system that could meet up the invasion of this microorganism. Remember, we invaded them first. We talk about Ebola, Lassa, different things. They say this rat is causing this one, that monkey is causing that one. From the time of Let There Be Light, monkey has always had the Ebola. Bat has always carried some virus in them. Rat has always carried this thing in them. It is when you begin to reduce the population, turning those natural hosts to endangered species, that those organisms begin to find their way into our body, and we are not as strong as these animals. I wouldn't say you should not believe what you want to believe, that somebody created so. I'm not saying there's no existence of bioweapon, but I just want you to also use your brain. so that you can get to the nitty-gritty of things. So in those days, there are some forests we call forbidden forest. Do you know why? Because the animals in them, they will have some microorganisms that if we keep killing them and keep eating them, they will infect us with what they carry, and we don't have what it takes to house those viruses, those microorganisms. So our ancient people decided to say animals staying in this forest has been tested and they are not trusted. They cannot be eaten for a food. Those forests later, they call them evil forests. Not evil in terms of when you enter, evil will happen to you. They are saying that the content of this forest cannot be eaten. Now you want to eat assorted meat. You want to eat things to trend on internet. You are doing eating competition of things that should not be eaten. Naturally, some things are not meant to be consumed by you. You are tired of the domestic animal you are rearing by yourself to eat, to consume. And suddenly, you go into some areas, organism that should not be inside of you. So look at your inventions and tell me one invention that does not have a negative impact on human race. You want to apportion blame? Please start with yourself now. You want to kill Bill Gates? Start with yourself. There are snakes that can be eaten. There are snakes you cannot eat. But gbogbo ejò jíjẹ ni lọ́dọ̀ tiẹ̀. Àfi láyé àfi wò ẹ́. Àgàgà kó rámàlà àti gbẹ̀gìrì. Ó di go on song and you are dying slowly. I remember when I was serving in Benue State, this national youth service corps, which is mandatory in Nigeria for every graduate. That was so many decades back, and I was posted to a certain part of Nigeria, the Middle Belt, Benue State. And after the orientation camp, we were sent to several villages. I was posted to Vandekia in after Boko in Benue State. And when we got there, we were so hungry. So the first thing we did was to enter every kind of hut and started eating. They always say they have pounded yam, but their pounded yam is made of small yam, plenty of cassava, plenty of cocoa, plenty of this and that. So you are eating pounded yam, it seems like your esophagus want to tear. But when they are eating it, it seems like very soft stuff. You know, I'm a Yoruba person from Lagos. We are not used to hard stuff. So we ate. They will give us vegetable soup and all that. So one day, after settling down, they came to our corpus lodge and requested that we vacate the room. So we're confused. What do they want to do? They said they want to hunt. Hunt? Hunters should go to the bush. And they said, no, they have to hunt here. Okay, what do you want to hunt? And they said they want to hunt rat. No, the normal house rat. They will also hunt all the lizard on the wall. They will also hunt all the wall geckos. Okay. By the side, the creek on the side, they also hunt all the frog. Not toads, frogs. And if they also see some cockroaches, they will also hunt them. So we say, okay, that sounds like a perfect fumigation moment in Lagos. And they said those are the condiments they use to make the food that we eat. And that was the last thing some of us ate. Because the memory that we're eating house rat, eating wall gecko, eating lizard, we were vomiting like our intestines should go. We became sick outrightly. And I also tried to look at the way they look in that place. How healthy are they? I realized they are not so healthy. Any little infection just get them down. And I tried to lecture them. I said, you are breaking the ecological chain. These things you are hunting and killing and eating are part of the ecological. You are messing up the ecosystem here. You are destroying the ecosystem. Because some of these elements are missing in our ecosystem. So you will suffer for it. That's the world we live in today, where people go into most of this foresting, this reserve forest. So you cut down trees, you don't plant another one back. There are elements who live in thick trees, those timbers. Where do you want them to stay? You sandfill ocean and rivers. You stop them from flowing. Where do you want the elements who are supposed to be residing by the brooks of those rivers, by the creeks of those rivers, by the edges of those rivers? Where do you want? Because you can't see them does not mean they don't exist. You can be blind. The universe is not blind to them. Everything should simply be able to function at their natural habitat. But you human beings, whatever you get to, you destroy things. Destruction seems to be the second nature of mankind. Somebody give you their art, you break it. Somebody give you their money, you spend it. Somebody give you their house, you mess it up. Somebody give you their trust, you betray them. Every captive must be destroyed. Humankind. So, the conspiracy theorist, you are not deemed fit to be part of African spirituality, because you cannot just cook up conspiracy without thinking deep. We will have to leave Bill Gates first and now begin to focus on what lifestyle are we also imbibing that is not helping us and helping our continuity. While you think too highly of yourself, when you go to the Mars today, the planet Earth looks like a grain of sand. 1 million planet Earth can enter into one very tiny black hole in a sun. But the people there think that they are created in the image of the Most High. Oh, that's a public, unpaid public announcement so that you can calm down. You are nothing. Don't deceive yourself. Okay, how can you tell me that you are something? You are something. Coronavirus is messing you up. Small one coronavirus is more productive than all your life put together. All your life put together. You have been living for how many years? Some of you have been living for 50 years, 100 years. One coronavirus in your system can multiply itself faster than you can multiply your star. You still think you are the most important element on earth. And you'll be coughing, you'll be sneezing, you'll be going to toilet, you'll be perspirating, you'll be breathing heavily, and we won't see what is killing you, and you still think you are smarter than the virus inside of you. So I said, those animals, those plants, those natural habitat of these things that now invaded our society begin to attack our immune system. Who first invaded them? We or them? Now, you can never, if you are fighting a battle, you can never win your host in his or her own. You can't win your host in his or her own. Why? Because you might not even know where the exit door is. If you know the exit door and the entry door, you might not even know where the underground is. You don't even know if the button you are pressing is a light button or the electric button. That is a battle you are fighting with the universe today. Irúfẹ́ nǹkan báyìí bá ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ayé àtijọ́, a máa pẹ̀dọ̀ fóró inú wa sílẹ̀. What can we do? Where have we gone wrong? What have we done to upset the planet that is housing us now? Why is the universe behaving in a masculine way the way it is behaving? Why is everything going wrong? The dividend of African spirituality is availing you the opportunity to ask why. Why is this? Why is that? Why should this be this and that? So in those days, our fathers, we go to the system of divination to know exactly what have we done. And most of the time, the divination system will now tell them, they might not go into detail and say the microorganism and all of that, they might eventually just learn that there is a certain animal or certain snake or certain disease that somebody killed in one day like that is causing the plague in that community. So they put it in law and say nobody should kill this type of snake, not because the snake becomes sacred, but because they know that something in that snake, if it finds itself into the system of humankind, there will be a plague. Can you see the wisdom of your ancestors? You must have heard most of these things. They will say they don't kill this snake in our own village. They don't kill that snake in our own village. They don't kill that goat in our own village. They don't eat this type of thing in our own village. See, some of these things are not just spiritual, this thing and say, hey, whoa, no. Some of these taboo and some of this allergy are because your ancestors knew that these things are hurting. So they just put it inside the constitution that guard that particular community and say, we must not kill this because somebody has killed it. And the end result, Ifa will tell us, the system divination will now tell us that this is the things we are doing wrong. When the younger ones, when they fall down, they look forward. When the elderly, when they fall down, they look backward. You know the meaning of that? A younger person just want to move on from this and commit another mistake and do another mistake. An elderly person will analyze situation. What has done wrong? Where was I coming from? What happened? Between this and that, what happened? So when the system of the nation tell them, this also thing has been done and all that, sometimes they even lock up some forest. They lock up some water. They lock up some areas and say nobody should enter that place. Now we have the religion of the invaders. Your pastor want to go and burn shrine. Your pastor want to use the Igbo war, the sacred forest, to build church. When you cut down all these things that your ancestors say, don't touch this area, respect the things that lives here, and turn it to church, where would the microorganism go and live? Is it not inside you? When we say in that river, we don't live near it, not because the nearing of the river is going to cause you harm, because your ancestors knew that the human want is insatiable. They might one day and say, not only the near of the river, beside the river, we want to live inside the river when there is an overflow of water because there's no way to pass. Would you not come and say, will tsunami not happen? Tsunami will happen. Problem will start. So when we say don't do this, don't go to that, don't go to that, don't do that, there are observations. Your ancestors are great scientists. Science means knowledge. They are folks who observe the way nature reacts and how the universe is acting. And they are quick to listen, to say, yes, we don't repeat this mistake. But today, you will say the blood of Jesus has covered you. You will say Allah got you covered. You will say you want to trend on Instagram. You will say you want to do the undo. You will say you want to mess up everybody just because you need a fame for yourself. And look at where we got ourselves today. Ìbá ṣe pé a fọwọ́ síbi tọ́wọ́ ń gbé, a ò bá ti má gba ẹnu yaso. So we ought to be building on the observation of these people. So when they call you pagan, when they call you animist, when they call you idol worshiper, you don't need to allow your self-esteem to be affected because of that, because it is better for you to be a pagan and live a quality life than for you to be a believer. And then and your pastors will not allow you to even listen to the voice of nature. So the ancestors knew that the moment we upset our host, all we have to do is just do like this. Surrender. Surrender. Just surrender. Surrender. Don't try more. Don't do all other things. Surrender. They knew that when the universe begin to get upset and begin to behave in a masculine way, all you have to do is just to say, we surrender. We just want to surrender for now and see how it goes. So how do you surrender to the universe? How? Surrendering to the universe is one of the most difficult things for mankind. Because we love to struggle. We struggle. We struggle. We struggle until we can struggle no more. For those who have attended the school of lifesaver, it is a rule of law in life-saving school that when a person is drowning, do not go near them until they either pass out or they get tired. If they will endanger themselves by not passing out or getting tired, when you swim near them, give them an elbow in a certain spot and let them pass out before you save them. Because when a person is drowning and they are struggling, there will not be one casualty or plenty casualties. No matter how skillful you are in swimming, if the person you are trying to save is still struggling, you go down with them. So you notice that the proper way to conquer, or let me say the proper way to allow a pandemic either turn to epidemic or be invisible in our midst, is purely to stay at home. Even your invaders, they knew this. But politics and greed will not allow them. The amount of money in circulation in the world today can feed everybody in the world today and we will have excess. But the greed of some people. Do you notice what happened when there was almost like a worldwide shutdown and people were locked at home? The leaves became more green. The oceans became more blue. The animals that came into town. Life was like paradise outside. Just because you were eliminated, you these chaotic beings, you were locked up, you were caged in, you were imprisoned, you stood down. Life became beautiful. Now the more of the creation of the nature, the trees, the animals, the plants, all these microorganisms begin to find their way back to their natural habitat. Let's remove the fact that when we don't have close contact, we can't transmit. Let's go to the fact that when they don't see us to leech on or to fleece on, they either die or find something else as their host. So the animals came back to town. Did you hear anything like pandemic among the animals? The plants, did you hear anything like pandemic among them? The same outside that is killing you, they came to town. It was party time for them. The same thing killing you wasn't killing them. It's so marvelous that the trees and the plant, the water and all, they will survive everything, but humankind keep dying. It is the very thing that is more superior than you in terms of intelligence and immune system that you think you can use your own low IQ to kill, and you think you will not suffer it. You will suffer it. So naturally, we are to surrender. Now, our surrendering is telling the earth or the universe that it has won. We need to go back to the place where we massage the ego of this universe and say, you won. We lost, you won. And how we can perfectly do that is to stay still. Stay perfectly still. Stay still. Is it not a normal logic that when you are fighting someone and you finally die, they give up and look elsewhere for who to kill? Can we pretend that we are dead? Can we pretend that we are dead? Can we tell the universe that you won? We lost. But it's difficult because mankind cannot even keep quiet and silent for a longer period of time. You say, I must be active. I must be active. A state of activity is a steering state, a state of confusion, a state of constant turbulence rather. Now, in those days when we destroy the ecological structure and plague coming, the very first person who discovered how to make sure this thing go away is somebody called Obaluaye. You can also call it Shockman now. Who discovered all of these things that I'm teaching you now. But to say your ancestors are not wise. So in those days, a general announcement will be made all through the town that from so day to so day, nobody should go to market, nobody should go to the river, nobody should go out. And every single night, a set of people called Oro will come out and weeding off everything in the atmosphere. Weeding it off with words. Words of affirmation, words of creation, of bringing back healing. No one is allowed to come out during those days. They think it's Oyinbo people that started lockdown. We have been doing lockdown since ancient. This very lockdown that is difficult for you to do now, we have been doing lockdown since before the light even became brighter. And plague, pandemic, or epidemic is not a strange thing, even in Africa. It happens. So far there is human being here, they will destroy something. And when they will do something, the consequence or the repercussion will come. When the consequences come, wise people, they apologize. The apology is not that I'm sorry. No, the apology is you stand down and you allow the ecology system, the ecosystem to repair itself back. Allow time to repair itself back. This set of conspiracy theorists keep pushing up their gospel, their evangelism everywhere, confusing people everywhere, saying all sorts of things before they say it was 5G. Abi, I have a young man sitting right close to me here. They say it was 5G that is causing COVID. Later they say it's the mark of Antichrist. One of them say it's God that is causing it to make us, to warn us, to calm us down. The other one says it's the devil that is causing it. I won't really did it. All sort of jargons was flying around. And now they now go to the point and say, when you take COVID vaccine, you will turn to vampire. There was one called Chris Okotie. All these nonsense human beings that you should not be, people you call leaders, no intelligence. So you are a product of your leadership. You are a show of the person you follow. If you follow dumb people, you are a dumb person. This is not a matter of, okay, I didn't know. You will get attracted to what you are. If you are attracted to me, then you must be intelligent. But when you are attracted to foolish people, that means you love foolishness. So I say what you call bad is not bad to everybody. For bad people, bad is good. It's only good people that see bad as bad. So because this thing looks evil to you does not mean it's evil to everybody. Some people love slavery. It's not bad to them. It's not bad to them. So sort of things that they say. They say all things than to accept intelligent things. You surrender to the universe. Babalole Difa. When we ask Ifa, indigenous faith of Africa, how do we do this? The lockdown comes in place. For those who are infected, isolation comes in place. It was not the Bible or the Western people that taught us to isolate those who are affected with leprosy. Àtayébáyé láti pé ẹ̀yin odi nílé tẹ́tẹ̀ ń gbé. A mọ̀ pé wípé àìpé kọ́mọdé ó mọ̀ dẹ́tẹ̀ tó bá ti lè dánú gbógbé. We are not telling a child not to become a leper person. But if he or she can stay alone in the forest, it's okay. So the concept of isolation has always been. And isolation does not affect only when you are infected with virus or microorganism. Sometimes when we have to perform some spiritual stuff, we will tell you you have to isolate yourself from places, people. Sometimes I advise some people, isolate yourself from family. Their mental faculty is affecting your way of reasoning. If you come from a poor family, if you don't run away from them and begin to think like rich people, you can end up being poor also because you see nothing wrong in poverty. If you've come from a lineage of single mother, sometimes you will not see anything wrong in being single mother to move with people whose marriage work, whose life are better. As a matter of fact, if you cannot survive it, let your children know that, it takes two to tango. Let their emotion balance. Sometimes if you have been affected by a thing over and over again, for spiritual, whatever we tell you, you have to leave where you are and come settle down. Be somewhere else for some days. Isolation. Most people get back to their challenges in life because they return back to the very place where they pick up the wrong signal. So what you say is a scientific discovery. To us and our ancestors, it's a child's play because we knew these things. However, the masculine world, the world of the Europeans, the world of the Americans, the world of these invaders, the world of the French, does not allow African intelligence to prosper. You surrender. You bow to your host. You allow your host. If all of us have agreed and stay home for some certain period of time, globally, even without any vaccine, would have been better. This thing will cure itself naturally. Tell me a nation that has conquered COVID, this virus today, that did not say exactly what I said, that did not do exactly what I said, if it's by compulsion or whatever. So we must give kudos to the sun. So they call us the sons of the sun that did not allow this particular virus to react so much, because I think the temperature of our continent makes it so hard, and because also our own immune system is quite crazy. Some of us got infected with COVID and we did not know. It came by itself, it left by itself. Some of you would have been infected with COVID and you have infected another person. You did not know. You got cured within you because you have a great immune system. And the person you gave this COVID is down now or even dead. Some of us are just crazy like that. It's just crazy like that. Wọ́n lárùn alárùn òmẹ́ṣinṣin àtẹ̀gbé àtẹ̀gbò à ń jẹ́ mọ́ra wọn ni àfi gbòòlà àti gbẹ́rìn àti ẹyẹ àṣejẹ kò sà. If life decided to kill us, we will kill life itself. Àwa gan ti dọmọ ikú tí kò gbọdọ̀ pa, àdọmọ àrùn táwọn ò gbọdọ̀ gbédè, oníbà tí yí ọwọ́ padà. But that apart, is it so hard for mankind to listen and to be naturally intelligent? We invest so much money in artificial intelligence, and we are not even exploring natural intelligence. Coronavirus is not something that was created from somewhere else. If anything, it is a mutation of what is already in existence. Everything is improving itself. Only human beings refuse to improve. Ordinary microorganism will improve. What it was yesterday will be different what it's going to be tomorrow. Always improving. They call it mutation. When are you going to mutate from a fool to the wise? When? You listening to me. When will you mutate from being a slave to free? When will you mutate from being destructive to just being destructive? When will you mutate from thinking like a zombie to reasoning for yourself? Ordinary staphylococcus. What used to cure staphylococcus 50 years ago cannot cure it anymore today. Why? Because it has improved on itself. Even these microorganisms are developing a great immune system for themselves. Things you can't see. Yet you open your mouth and say, I'm created in God's image. Who is God? Where is God? Who created you? What happened to you? Why are you not improving? Say God is indestructible. Surely if he created you, you should not be destroyed now. Who? Let me even starve you of food for just 3 days. Or I'm going to be with you, Billy. African spirituality does not forbid this place. So it is the head we must appease, not the idols. Because when your head was saving you, where were the idols? Yoruba will say, Roriye. I'm telling you, the solution is where? It's here, on your head. And this is just a physical representation of your divinity. So that's why I say keep in touch with your Ori regularly. I wasn't born by 2 women. I'm a human like you. But I could reason better because I decided to activate this place. And so if we cannot live standing down and surrendering to the universe, at least protect yourself against one another. So oh ni kówèrè ara ẹ báyìí mi. Kí n náà dẹ̀ máa kówèrè ara mi báyìí. Ordinary facial mask or nose mask, it is hard for some people. Your pastors, your imam, people that want to kill you, people who are constantly traveling abroad and into Jupiter and Moon to go and take vaccine, to go and help themselves, to go and cure themselves, are telling you that it is stupid to wear face mask. So they still gather you together and tell you to kill yourself. Consider you are alive, they will collect tithe and offering. When you are dead also, they will still collect service charge to come and bury you. So, except you are not a student of history. Death, Black Death claimed several lives, millions of lives. What did they end up doing? They shut down the economy. Everybody stay home. When they reintegrated people back into society, they were using facial masks. Even back then. It's only common to you that when you see doctors, medical doctors performing surgery, they put on facial masks and all that. What do you think is happening? Because your body is cut open. Your immune system at that time is down. And this mouth is bringing out bacteria all the time. When bacteria is directly introduced into you, let's say a doctor wants to say something and it into your intestine, problem there. So even though the doctor wants to help you, he must also isolate himself actively against you. So most times we just live like a zombie. We believe everything people tell us. We don't even say, what am I doing? The stream at the back of your house, what are you doing to it? You are pouring death on it, saying water should carry it away. Water will still come and carry you that is pouring the death away. The trees in your compound, what are you doing to them? Cut this one down. Let me build one boys quarter. At least if I get it rented for 100,000 naira per year. Something. Houses that even you cannot use to do poultry. Chicken will die inside of it. You are building it for human being. Little time you say medical insurance is taking your money. Medical people are taking all the money. It's a conspiracy theory. Are you even living well for yourself? Look at all the media houses right now. Everybody wants to be an advertiser for a brand. So you said that they are using a woman's buttock to advertise a product or using a woman's breast to advertise a product. All these products, when you look at them very well, it is to kill you. To kill you. So they brand them so well. Make them look attractive. You will not go and drink agbo, herbs, medical, just those herbal medicine, root. You complain about the Chinese that they are trying to kill you. Why are they dying? Why are they not dying again? When you go to a Chinese person's house or a Korean person's house, what they offer you is tea. All those teas are herbs. Naturally, you just take it. You go to people's house, the first thing they offer you is, will you drink malt or will you drink this and that? You can't even say, okay, let me put this guava leaf, let me wash it, let me rinse it, or let me just boil it for 5 minutes, let me put it in a kettle and place it in the center table with some little cup so that my visitor can just take something out. I will wash their intestine and their urinary tracts so they can go to toilet easily and their kidney can be washed well. You people are killing each other. You think you have a good fridge when you load it up with all sort of multicolor juice, multicolor additive, and you think you soon die. Mind you, microorganisms don't give a damn about if you are healthy or not. They just want to also survive, just like you're trying to survive. Just like you're trying to survive. So when those things come out and break out to affect our immune system, from time to time, we will get vaccinated. Before the Western vaccine started, we've always had Ancestral here in Africa. Ancestral is concussion vaccine. There are some plants we also put in our house. Naturally, they kill some viruses and some germs, naturally. There's such a plant that looks like a small ball like this. We call it tagiri. Tagiri. Our mothers, our fathers put it in the house. There are some that looks like a cucumber like this. They put it at the edge of the doorpost. If you go to anybody's house now, you see those things, you say they are diabolic, they are evil, they are witches and wizards. Those are medicine. Those things absorb any form of things that are negative. They just kill microorganisms that are not healthy, naturally. They cook with most of these things. The right kind of chili, the right kind of pepper, the right kind of alubosa, which is onion, the right kind of garlic. They use turmeric, they use ginger, they use all those things. Even when you don't want to make a soup. But look at you these days. What are you eating? Our food used to be our medicine. Not medicine becoming our food. In those days, either you like it or not, the popularity of, in those days, it was December time that in my own house that we normally taste Fanta or Coke. Only December time. Because we don't even have luxury of buying it. And after that, it seems like an extra, it was a luxury in those days to drink those things. And they're always mindful of sugar. Don't eat this, don't eat that, don't eat. For the mere fact that we are not even eating that, we eat enough vegetable there. Every single morning you wake up, after having your bath, you go and take agbo, herbs. The herb for jeji, which is pile, is there. The one for iletutu, the one for ita, which is called music, is there. As a little, we grow up being vaccinated. From little, we get vaccinated from little. All those things is not. Now, if I add one thing to the other now and send it to you abroad, you say it's diabolical. Your pastors, these mad people you call pastors, these mad people, these mad people told you anything black is diabolic. We don't take our bath with Lux or Joy soap or all those scented soap. It is also or Shedudu black soap. Inside the black soap, they would have added some other things to it. They would speak the words of life with incantation into it. You can use this one for Wednesday, this one is for Friday, and we were healthy. It's of recent we were hearing black people going down with cancer in Africa these days. It's them. You compare people who go down with cancer, white and black, you see the largest, they are white people. In the days of Teddy Gurana, Tandy Gurana, all those beautiful stuff, even though they are more healthy than the one we drink today, but it's not available for public consumption. In the December time, you go to your grandma's place, you go to your hometown, every morning all of us will line up. They won't say don't eat what you have to eat, but in those days, eating candy and all that used to be it is a sin to eat candy. Where did you see? They will go and report to your parent that you are buying candy. Because naturally, candy is not what you train children with. You don't train children in those days with candy. Those poisonous things that your children are taking, and the way you show love to your children now is to destroy their lives. Very destructive love you people are showing. How you can show that you now have money is to go and eat fast food. That's how McDonald's, Burger King, they are getting rich at your own health. Obesity everywhere. You see a woman, full-grown woman, 21-year-old, having big tummy as if she's pregnant. And they say, I'll go and do cosmetic later. What happened? Cosmetic later. So I'm saying, is this a world of chaos? Is this the civilization you people are talking about, or chaos? Because it's strange to me. I didn't grow up in this. This is confusing to me. The way you have to increase the music you play at party and all that these days is as if they are doing the hellfire concert inside of you. I'm listening to the song. Why must it be so loud? In those days of high life, everything rhythm, just no noise, but everybody is mad now. Now be doing aerobics, you say that one is dancing. Say it's leg work. If you want to run mad, run mad. Let's know you are now mad. Not that you'll be running mad stylishly. Mentally. So I'm saying in those days, some of these things you do today is anomalies. They will go and see if you are mad or you are okay. But you have turned it to fashion. It is not fashion. It is not fashion. Let me tell you something. We are not living healthily. We are not healthy. We are not healthy at all. We are not healthy. I live in Nigeria here. And sometimes, if I have flu or kata, they call it kata here. You don't take medicine for kata here in Nigeria. Why are you taking medicine? After 2 days, it will run its course and it will go. But here in some part of abroad, they will have to isolate you. It's like a plague again. Around that one, medicine. For you to know how to get there. Do you know when flu started in those days too, it was also considered as a plague? They treated it like a plague. Some countries still treat it as a plague. But people are getting over it without even medication. Now, when cholera started, I believe they worked on vaccine to cure it. I'm sure if the family of the dumps, the family of the fools were alive in those days, the descendant of which most of you are, you will say it's Antichrist. That why are they giving you vaccine? You will bring up all forms of equation, all forms of the y, the x, and all that, integral part and all that, further maths and calculus, to come and say it is opportunity to kill people in mass. I don't think maybe Bill Gates was not around there. It would have been one popular person who chose to sponsor that you will call out there and says want to depopulate the world. You can choose to see if I am a humanitarian person. I'm not siding Bill Gates, please. I'm not siding. I'm a humanitarian person. And my bulk of my money, I repeat, bulk of my money, I would say the reason why I even work in my life is to save children and their mothers, single mothers. So you will see me campaigning for this child's health, this child's surgery, and all that. And because I keep putting bulk of my money in that, I am an expert in that area. Because I have to gather data. Why is this happening? Why is that happening? Tomorrow, if I start a campaign regarding safe reproduction and begin to campaign in all the interior villages, that number one, you must produce according to your economy, your personal economy. Some people will say I'm trying to say they should not reproduce. If I say you must reproduce only after you are gone for testing, your urethra, is it? Urinary tract is intact. The woman's vagina is also not infected, so that you people don't form a zygote that is infected. So that I don't now put my money in a child whose so part is not formed well, or somebody is wrong, so the art is not. You will say, I'm trying to intrude your this. Why? Because that's where my passion lies. And I have all the data, and I can forecast almost like the number of children that will be born without limbs, without good brain, without good heart in the next like 5 years, because get that data. You don't know the data because you don't put your money in it. I know the data and I know how things work. I can study human behavior, and I can study how poverty is making some people get so depressed. And I can study the standard of living of some people in so I can say this village, there will be so X amount of children who are disabled at birth in that place, because I've seen the toilet they use, I've seen the lifestyle they use, I've seen their diet, I've seen the way they have sex, I've seen their disposition to reproduction. I can forecast that there will be a problem also here. When the problem happens, you will say, I want to depopulate them. You will say, I want to because I have knowledge, I have understanding, I know what is going on, I have data regarding that. So if SARS came out the other time, and a man is able to analyze it and say, because of human behavior, in the next 5 years, this thing will mutate and it will turn to this, and it happened exactly as he has said, because that's where he's putting his money, and he has the brain of scientist at his disposal to forecast what is happening. You say he's demonic. You will say he's antichrist. What will you not say? What will you not say? Recently, we launched a project to save a certain mountain together on this platform. I didn't make it public. I wanted to start with some people in our Telegram shrine. The mountain is covering a vast 2 acres, 12 plots in total. Very huge mountain, almost 200 feet high. And the Omonile, the community, the people of that community, they were blasting it and making a quarry out of it. And I say, I'm going to save this mountain. We are just around 5 million to go to buy the whole of the mountain and ensure nobody touches the mountain or hurt the mountain anymore, because we want the beautiful photography of Africa and our Caribbean to stay the way they are. One day we will see a thick forest and say, we are buying the whole of this forest and we are not touching it. Tomorrow, if I now begin to say, because of the lack of mountain in that side, the breeze will be coming directly on that side, and it can cause a lot of hurricane in that side, and then it will bring about erosion in that side. And it happened exactly as I said. You will say, I'm the one that went to meet one ancestor to come and cause problem in your life, because you will not apply your mind to knowledge, and you are not ready to even save yourself. You love when things are destroyed. It takes 1 minute to destroy what you can use 100 years to build. So tomorrow, when the mountain is saved, and our children's children upon children's children come there to venerate those who saved it and see the names of those people, we will say those are the people that called and said this today. They are now being worshipped. You know, they give us kudos for taking proactive steps to save things. People put their money where their passion is. And because money is not easy to get by, they also proactively work to ensure the suffering does not continue. So it takes intelligence to demystify most of the things you guys are talking around this COVID and all that. If we ask you to do your part by staying at home, would you? Do you know? Coincidentally, during the COVID, people hardly fell sick. Why? Because they took the simple instruction of washing your hand regularly seriously. People that will not do without having catarrh, without this fever, without this stomachache and all that. During COVID, everybody just normal straight. Just because of you wash your hand regularly. And you are not out there ingesting carbon while you call it oxygen. If we reciprocate such a life and make it worth living for us, do you know we can go back to the days where we live above 100, above 150? Not in suffering, not in sickness, but healthy and very ill. So, if indigenous faith of Africa, when such a thing happens, we simply surrender. We surrender to allow the ecosystem to heal itself, and things go back to normal. However, it will be difficult, because we live in a politicized world. The world of today is a politicized world because somebody wants to do an election, he will tell you to come out. Somebody want to trend on the stock market, he will tell you to come out. These guys don't love you. The people you call the world leader today, they hate you so much, and you are just nothing but a tally to them. You have to take care of yourself and do what is best for you. Take care of you and do what is best for you. Anytime about you are jebo, when you are 31 jetan patapata, when you have gotten to the brim, where things now become uncontrollable and they now say take vaccine, and you now say it's mark of the beast. Remember that you are the one that said mobile phone is a monitoring agent. You were the one that said SIM card is a mark of the beast. You are the one that said that ATM is a mark of the beast. You are the one that also said that BVN is a mark of the beast. The BVN they ask you to take here in Africa or in Nigeria that you refuse to take. You will run to go and take social security number in America. When cholera vaccine came out and you give your child, you didn't say it's a mark of the beast. When polio vaccine came out and you give your child, you didn't say it's a mark of the beast. When Ebola came out, you didn't say it's a mark of the beast. Kilo happens here. Every pandemic, when anything moves out from an epidemic to pandemic, everybody has to be vaccinated. Or majority of us have to be vaccinated until we also begin to get immune to that disease. Because naturally, if you don't know, I know that humankind's immune system is also beefing itself up regularly. It's like artificial intelligence. It learns by data. If you don't know, we know that our system is gradually learning the current virus outside and also beefing itself up against it. Learning. So the children we will give birth to, their system, their genes, their makeup will have learned well about the virus, and they will be born immune to that disease. Immune to disease. You know how many vaccines your children get when they were little. You didn't call it mark of the beast. In the future, this will naturally be part of those vaccines they'll get. And another thing will happen, and some people there, if they happens to be your own descendant of these conspiracy theorists, descendant of these foolish people, they will also rise up in those days and say, mark of the beast. And if you are waiting for one Jesus to come, already be a ọdẹ tó ń wò ṣẹ́jú Elédùmarè ni o, orí ẹ̀gún ló máa kú sí o. Ẹni tó bá dẹ̀ ń wò ṣẹ́jú akàn, apẹ̀lẹ̀ tí omi. The coming of Jesus is like expecting a woman who has been circumcised to reach orgasm. They cometh not. A woman whose clitoris is absent, you are expecting her to reach orgasm. The coming of Jesus is like that. He will come not. He cometh not. Whoever tell you is categorically sure that Jesus is coming. If you have a psychiatric scholarship, tell them to go and take medicine. Let them go and take medicine. That's a sign of a narcissist, of a mentally challenged or deranged human being, and it's telling you that it's mad and you don't want to believe it. So what's my take on this COVID thing? I'm saying we've messed up the ecosystem and we are paying for it. Shall we pay for it for long? Because this thing will be around for the next 1-2 years more before it becomes epidemic again. It started as everything starts from epidemic before they get to pandemic. What I'm going to say is either to take the vaccine or not take the vaccine. That's your own personal business. But please, má kó wèrè ara ẹ̀ bá mi. Má kó wèrè ara ẹ̀ bá mi. Marco Kini, Marco Wiria. I will take care of myself. But please, before you come near me, take care of yourself too. You can say you have faith that the blood of Jesus is working for you. The blood of Jesus is not working for me. If the blood of Jesus is working for you, go to any COVID center, tell them to infect you. Go to your church straight. Go and test that blood, how effective it is. Don't come to my shrine. Don't come and do divination with me physically because you believe in blood of Jesus. Me, I don't believe in it. Don't bring your madness to my area. Don't bring it. I'm telling you. Hey, thank you very much. This is the time to ask questions. We have just 10 minutes to answer questions. Just 10 minutes. If you have questions, you can start asking now. Straight to the point, I give you the answer. No beating about the bush. I'm going to just go straight and give you the answer. That's the way our ancestors cured this thing. But because we have decided not to do it according to the ancestral way, lè jẹun gbòòrè jáde, ẹ máa pariwo orúkọ Jésù. Lè ṣèṣéde, ẹ máa pariwo. Go and take vaccine. If you cannot take vaccine, go and eat agbo or aseje. If you cannot take it, go to your pastor or their camp if you have issue. Don't come to me. Èmi ìfẹ́ pẹ́lẹ́ ayé, mi ìdẹ̀fẹ́ kójú mi rí bi. Kò sáǹfààní ayé tí èèyàn ń gbé tí ò wà lè mí kanlẹ̀. If you still think that COVID is not real, I advise you to visit the centers and tell them, here you are. They should send you message of COVID. And it's not funny because I understand how the government is also making money out of the whole thing. You gave them the loophole. You gave them the loophole. And they will make you dry. I went to Ghana the other time. 50,400, over $100. I did a COVID test here in Nigeria. As I got to Ghana, as I'm entering Ghana, another 100 plus. Before I left Ghana, they demanded that I did it. After I got to Nigeria, they demanded, if only the problem of sticking something in my nose and in my throat and all that is humiliating for me. Why do you think you should burn me and put me in the water when I die? So that you don't just intrude my body anyhow. Just shooking me. And those guys who are doing this thing, they find it as if they are using joystick or they are playing Mario or something. Danger man. Very coarse human being. Please, let's cater for ourselves. Build your immune system. Use herbs. Each one will give you health. And if the order of the day is to distance yourself from each other, please distance yourself. Limit your association. Please. Thank you. Somebody is asking that, Baba, how come cancer vaccine is not here yet, but COVID vaccine came so quickly? Cancer, do you know what they call cancer? Jejere. And cancer is not something that attacks you once. It's a dysfunctioning of your cells. The cells around a certain organ in your body. That's why you can have either fingers cancer, skin cancer, this cancer, and all that. The cells in your body is like a molecular structure of water. The moment it gets deionized, how beautiful water is when you allow it to assume its molecular structure. We'll talk more on water in the water mastery class. It's coming up March 30th, 2021. March 30th. The registration link will soon be out. I would love every one of you to be there. If only you know about water. Half of the disease of this world, you can cater for it. So when your cells begin to malfunction against each other, what kind of vaccine do you need? People have mouth cancer. Their eye will be intact. People have eye contact. eye cancer, their hair will be intact. How many? And you know all these organs function independent sometimes against each other. So if you say cancer vaccine for cancer, while they are researching prostate cancer, they are researching vaginal cancer, they are researching, it will take time now. This is your cell working against each other. And this thing can become hereditary sometimes. However, your lifestyle, your hygiene can reverse cancer. Your hygiene. Ìwọ rèé, fùfú àti pọ̀nmọ́ ni àbí ẹni tó fi ṣe. Ìwọ rèé, McDonald's, king size Coca-Cola. That's what you will take in the morning. And in the night, you now order pizza and big can of juice. Only you, a full bath, a full bowl that they should pour water in and do a swimming pool inside. You want to watch just one Netflix movie. You put popcorn inside. Popcorn made of OT. Would they cure cancer? You cannot even go for a retreat or picnic. Just stay in the wild alone. Stay quiet. Live on water. Or say, let me eat only fruit. Balọ̀sọ́dọ̀ ya Rísíkà oní àmàlà, ògúnfe bíi 5, inú ẹran bíi 6, àmàlà bíi 4. Now say they should give you Pepsi that is inside bottle, ceramic bottle, that you don't like the one of plastic bottle. Pepsi onígò, nìkan bẹ́ẹ̀ fún ẹ, tó tutù ha ẹ̀. How do you drink Pepsi on àmàlà? Nígbà tí wọ́n gbé ẹ ṣépè, ó dẹ̀ fẹ́ cure cancer, ó ń tanra ẹ o. You are deceiving yourself. The more bitter stuff you eat, the more sweet your life is. That's the secret of the ancestors. The more bitter stuff you eat, the more sweet your life is. If you can only cultivate the habit of eating orogbo, bitter cola, often, it will cure so many things in your body than you imagine. But if it is not sweet, it's not good for you. Somebody say Netflix is not interesting without popcorn. I hope life is interesting with cancer. I'm not saying popcorn is causing cancer. I'm saying your lifestyle. Your lifestyle. Sometimes take some time to detoxify yourself. Your colon, detoxify it. I think our system even works in a way that there are 2 days or 1 day in a month that you will just be purging. You will just purge. Some of you will go and block it. My system works in that way. There are days that maybe 3 days straight away I will just be purging. I don't try to stop it. It's my system telling me there are a lot of things to let out here. Too much. And some of you will say, you have done this, you have done. So many talking tibo, gbogbo epo gbo, baba japo. I won't say that one in English. Dabole, gbogbo omi ṣara ṣòro tí ẹ mọ mi tó clean, omi tí ò dá o, mọ pure water o, mọ bottle water o, gbé akoro gbagba gbogbo. Any other questions so that we can wrap up. In regards to African spirituality, is it compulsory to become a vegan? No, it's not compulsory. It's not compulsory. I see a lot of trend of that people who want to be a vegan because people think when they eat only leaves, they have become spiritual. No, I'm not a vegan now. The right amount of everything. Even though it is more healthy to eat leaves than meat, but the right amount of everything is good. Some of you will say you are a vegan. You look like ancient of days. Because nutrient are you opemo. Say it makes me look younger. Look like your age. Don't look younger. Why should the clock be happy that it's working backward? So it is not a spiritual prerequisite to be a vegan. but the right amount of everything. The right amount of everything. It's okay. Baba, even the vaccines are labeled as experimental vaccines. So that means we should be willing to be used for this experiment since it hasn't been tested over a period of time. Time normal vaccine takes. I believe that's what we're saying. If you want to be a specimen, go and be a specimen. But the thing I'm saying is that if you cannot afford to live a good life, just go and get a vaccine. So when they say experimental vaccine, you will see that even most drugs are still being developed upon. There are some medication that you still react to today. That's why they say if you have side effects, you should lodge complaint. Even your computer system will tell you when you encounter some kind of strange error, they will say you should click report so that they can use your report to improve on that particular system. Why do you have Windows? Since the time I've been using Windows, I started using Windows operating system since when it was 0.2. Some of you don't know how to use Windows with command system, command prompt. It is through command prompt we enter into the graphics aspect. We now come back into the command prompt. I want to know. It's not the days of Apple where you just press one button and it now set itself up by itself. You will set up every single month. And there is space for improvement. Every medication you take today are still also being improved upon. There is no perfect medication, no perfect medicine. It is an experiment. Every single thing is an experiment. The same with our life. If this life is not good, we experiment another. Just like our relationship also. If it's not working with this one, you experiment the other until you find the perfect match. And there are no perfect match anywhere. No perfect match anywhere. You keep experimenting. That's the case of life. Somebody say it says normal vaccine should take at least 10 years before it can be safe to use effectively. And what do the 10 years? You can wait for 10 years, so we will bring the vaccine to your graveyard. We'll come and give you your own. All right, that's not a question, that's a comment. Somebody is asking, if we are really gods, why do we have to seek a fast knowledge? If a fish is really fish, why does it have to flow with the current of the river? Abi? If you are really productive, if you are really fertile, why do you have to sleep with a woman to get pregnant? Ask me another question, my sister, Abi, my brother. Oh, they buy me. Can you guys still hear me? Let me know if you can still hear me. Baba, do you think if the new followers of this way of life acquire more knowledge in this regard, they will be more guided regarding the pandemic and their fears? Certainly, that's why we are also hosting this particular teaching. That's why we are also hosting this particular teaching. A lot of people are just stumbling on this YouTube channel for the first time. They don't know where we are coming from. Every single broadcast is a continuation and a build upon the past. So you never really know where we took off from you might not understand why we are going where we are going to. So we advise that you go to our YouTube channel and listen. Purge yourself of all the nonsense you've heard so far and look at life in the right perspective. In the right perspective. Thank you very much. So we use this time to send apology to every single one who have either reached out for consultation, who are yet to be picked, who are yet to be answered rather. I'm saying I'm sorry. It's been hectic. It's been very, very busy. I'll get back to you in shortest time possible. I also like to invite all of us to our African Spirituality New Year, which is happening on the 3rd of March to 2000, hold on, which is happening on the 3rd of March 2021 here in the heartbeat of the world, Nigeria. You can use the Instagram link that is showing below, which is stating the online shrine, to join our group on Telegram and also get more information regarding that. Other information will be publicized on this YouTube channel and every other channels that we have: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and the rest. We're also saying for your consultation, you can easily just use this particular link for consultation. I no longer respond to people on my WhatsApp anymore. I no longer respond to people on the WhatsApp anymore. We strictly use Telegram for most of the things that we use now for security purpose and all. And if you are saying hello to me, Aboruboye, on WhatsApp, now you are hearing now why you are not getting response from me. Use the link that you see here on the screen right here, the Baba Yooba link that you see here, to chat me on my WhatsApp, on my Telegram. And also, we made the announcement before, the Water Mastery class, which is going to teach you a lot. We can't wait to begin that. And I'm very certain that those who are undergoing our African Spirituality Masterclass are already enjoying their lives. And they are in almost the same spectrum as I am, also getting to know the nitty-gritty of things and why things are done in a certain way or the other here in African Spirituality. The new session will be out very soon after our Water Mastery class. In the month of May, I have a lot of traveling outside the country to do. And that's why we are holding just one class on the 30th of May. And hopefully in June, we'll resume another section of our African Spirituality Masterclass. Pending that time, don't ever allow anyone, either in this world, in the past world, or the world to come, to control here. Whatever you hear from me, you have every right to disclaim it, to debunk it, to research it, to scrutinize it, to accept or reject it. I am not your maker, and I'm not here to control you. I only share in my wisdom with you. It is left to you to accept it or not. And somebody said, you can only tell people the truth. You cannot tell them what to do with the truth. The truth, as I know of it, I've told you today. Do whatever you will with it. Thank you very much. Ajúṣe fún wa o, ayẹ̀wò kalẹ̀ o, a ò ní báráyé fọwọ́ tí o, wọn ò ní tì wá lọ́gàngàn wọnú ẹ̀wọ̀n lọ o, wọn ò ní sọ wá dẹni tí ó padà máa wà ní òkùnkùn máa wò mọ́lẹ̀ o, a ò wá ní bá gbogbo rògbòdìyàn COVID, a ò ní bá lọ o, a ò ní tẹ ojú ilẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ o, a ò ní ṣẹni tí ò ní dáríjì wa o, a ò ní bọ́ sọ́wọ́ ayé, a ò ní sapá gẹ́gẹ́ fáwọn tí ó ràn wá lọ́wọ́ o, a ò ní ṣorí burúkú, a ò ní ṣorí gbé o, a ò ní bọ́ sọ́wọ́ àwọn ìyá òpàkẹ́ àlàkẹ́ arógbó aṣọ mábàlẹ̀, torí bí wọ́n ti ń gbani ni wọ́n ń gbani. Wọn ò ní fọwọ́ wọn gbá wa o, wọ́n máa fẹ̀yìn wọn gbà wá ni. Àwọn àbùjá gbọ̀rọ̀gbọ̀rọ̀ ti fi ń pọnmọ tí ò gbọdọ̀ jábọ́ nù. May the universe open up the wealth of wisdom upon you also. And what I don't know, they reveal to you. And what you don't know, reveal to your children. I will use each other as a stepping stone to become the better version of ourselves. And this world and the one who we experience after this, may we not be tempted, like they say. May we not be useless. May you be moved from the place of the audience into the place of the speaker. May you also find your purpose and also be confident enough to push it to the point where both old and young will come around you and listen to what you have to say. And when you die in this body and your energy gets reincarnated, and you have a vivid recollection of everything that happened in this world. May your deja vu not become an experience of confusion for you. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful time now. Bye.